Look, I'm about to commit career suicide here, but someone needs to say it. 95% of backend frameworks are basically digital comfort blankets for developers who can't make actual architectural decisions. I know, you probably just opened this video thinking, oh great, another hot take. But stick with me because I'm about to roast every framework equally. And if you're not mad by the end of this, you weren't paying attention. Let's start with Node.js and Express, shall we? Express is like that friend who says, I'm super low maintenance, and then expects you to provide literally everything. The furniture, the food, the emotional support, the life coaching. You want to handle a post request? Cool. Install body parser. Oh wait, it's built in now? Since when? Who knows? The documentation was last updated when skinny jeans were still cool. Want security? That'll be Helmet.js, Course, Express Rate Limit, and 47 other packages you found on a 6-year-old Stack Overflow answer. And God help you if you need input validation. You'll be importing Joey or Zod and writing more schema definitions than actual business logic. But here's my favorite part. Async and await saved us from callback hell, right? Wrong. Now we've got try-catch blocks wrapped in try-catch blocks. And if you forget to await just one promise, congratulations, your error is now silently floating in the void like a message in a bottle that nobody will ever find. Your logs, useless. Your debugging session, eternal. The Express ecosystem is basically NPM dependency roulette. Half the packages haven't been updated since 2019, and the other half are maintained by one guy named Kyle, who's definitely not getting enough money for this. Now let's talk about Django. Oh, Django, the framework that makes you feel smart for exactly 20 minutes before you realize you've sold your soul to the ORM. Django is like that overprotective parent who's done everything for you, and now you have no life skills. Need to query a database? The ORM's got you. Need to understand what SQL query it's actually running? Lol, good luck, buddy. Hope you like N+1 queries, because Django is about to give you all of them. And the migrations, oh, the migrations. You change one field, literally just adding a default value, and Django's migration system is like, I've detected 47 changes across 12 models, and I'm going to need you to resolve them in order. Also, I've somehow broken your local database. And no, rollback won't help because I've already committed to this path and we're both going down together. The Django admin is cool until you need to customize it, at which point you're Googling how to override Django admin query set for the third level of a nested inline and finding exactly one Stack Overflow answer from 2014 with 3 upvotes. And God forbid you want to use anything other than Django's preferred way of doing things. Want to use GraphQL instead of REST? Sure, just install 8 libraries and reconfigure your entire project structure. Want WebSockets? Hope you like channels and Redis and learning an entirely new paradigm just to send a notification. Then there's Fast API, the new hotness that everyone's obsessed with. Don't get me wrong, automatic API documentation is neat, but you know what's neater? When your async functions actually work as expected instead of mysteriously blocking your entire app. Fast API devs will swear up and down that it's production ready and blazingly fast. Cool story, bro. Why does my API randomly hang when someone uploads a file? Oh, you're probably not using async file handling correctly. My dude, I literally copied your example code. And the type hints. Look, I love type safety as much as the next person, but when I'm writing more pedantic models than actual business logic, we've crossed a line. Plus, everyone's out here comparing fast API benchmarks like it's Formula 1, completely ignoring that their bottleneck is the PostgreSQL query that's doing a full table scan because nobody on the team understands indexes.
Ruby on Rails. Ruby on Rails, where do I even start? Rails is that framework your senior dev won't shut up about because they built their startup on it in 2011 and had a great time. That's wonderful, but it's 2026 now and convention over configuration has aged like milk left in a hot car. But Rails is so productive. Yeah, until you need to do literally anything the framework didn't anticipate. Then you're elbow deep in monkey patches and metaprogramming magic that nobody, including the person who wrote it, can explain. The asset pipeline. No wait, Webpacker. No wait, that's deprecated. Propshaft? Import map? Who knows anymore? Rails changed its preferred JavaScript solution like 6 times, and half the tutorials online are for sprockets, which nobody uses anymore, except for legacy apps that are too terrified to upgrade. And don't even get me started on active core callbacks. Oh, well, just add a quick after create callback to send an email. Famous last words. 6 months later, you've got 15 callbacks firing in unpredictable order, half of them are calling other models callbacks, and suddenly creating a user account takes 8 seconds and sends 3 duplicate emails because someone fat-fingered a condition in a before save hook. Rails is great if you're building a blog in 2012. For anything else, you're fighting the framework's opinions more than you're building features. Let's not forget Laravel, PHP's golden child that convinced a generation of developers that maybe PHP isn't so bad. Narrator, PHP is still bad. Look, I'll give Laravel credit, it made PHP bearable. That's like being the best smelling trash can. Eloquent ORM is genuinely nice until you need to do something complex and you're back to raw SQL anyway because the query builder is having an existential crisis. And the Laravel ecosystem is wild. You've got Forge, Vapor, Spark, Nova, Horizon, Telescope, and 47 other first-party packages that all sound like rejected Marvel superhero names. Each one costs money, and somehow you convince yourself you need all of them for your to-do app. The best part? Laravel changes its recommended practices every major version. Remember when everyone used repositories? Then that was over-engineering. Now we're back to liking them again. Maybe. The Discord server is arguing about it right now. Also, if I see one more tutorial that starts with first install Laravel Sail, like everyone's got Docker configured perfectly, I'm going to lose it. Some of us just want to run PHP artisan serve without containerizing our entire existence. You know what the real problem is? None of these frameworks are objectively bad. They all work. They all have millions of users. They all have companies running billion-dollar businesses on them. The problem is us. We developers love to argue about tools while the business guys are wondering why the login page still doesn't work on Safari. We'll spend 40 hours researching the perfect stack and then ship code with console.log statements still in it. Should I use Express or Fastify? I don't know, Broad. Maybe finish the feature you started 3 sprints ago. We've turned framework selection into a religious war when it should be a pragmatic decision. Pick whatever your team knows, whatever has good documentation, whatever you won't have to rewrite in 6 months when the next shiny framework drops. And for the love of all that is holy, stop rewriting your entire backend because you read one Medium article about how microservices changed someone's life. Your monolith is fine. Your users don't care if you're using Spring Boot or Express or Django or a fleet of trained carrier pigeons. They care if the app works. So here's my hot take. The best backend framework is the one you actually ship with. Everything else is just developer cosplay. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go refactor my personal project for the 8th time because I just read about Rust and ActixWeb, and clearly that's what was missing for my life. See you in the comments where you can tell me why I'm wrong about your favorite framework. I'll be there, probably not responding because I'm too busy reinstalling Node modules for the 3rd time today.
Smash the like button and subscribe if you enjoyed this.